This just does not want to focus. Anyway, hi, my name is Michaela. I'm a PhD student at the University of Tübingen. I'm originally from New Zealand, but we moved here, my husband and I, sat right there. My husband and I moved here to Germany for me to do my PhD. And my YouTube channel is just us documenting my life here in Germany, our travels and studies, and yeah, just how everything's going. Basically just so that we can look back on these days, but also so people in New Zealand can keep up with what we're doing over here. So welcome to my channel. I hope that you enjoy it here, and if you do, give it a subscribe down below, and so you can stick around and see videos that are gonna come out in the future. Anyway, I'm not good at intros. We're just gonna get past that stumbling mess. Welcome to this video. Today's just like a super chill catch-up video. It's probably going to be really short. I wasn't going to be able to post anything for like a week and a half based on the videos that I'm currently filming because they're all multi-day videos. I'm speaking / attending a conference at the moment, and so I'm gotta wait until that conference is done. So that's this week, and then next week I'm presenting at another conference which I'm writing the conference paper for. And that's another video that I'm filming, is like write a conference paper with me. And so both of those, as well as needing the time to edit it, aren't going to come out for a while. And so I thought that I'd just do a super quick video so that something is going up in the meantime, just as a bit of an update of how things are going at the moment. I haven't really done much like talking, chatting videos recently. It's been a lot of travel stuff, and I put up like a really long video about a 9 to 5. That was my last video. If you watched the whole thing, thanks. It was mostly just me rambling on about having a 9 to 5 day. But anyway, I just wanted to like catch up on a couple of things because there's been so many things that have been happening recently that I've been alluding to, and I just thought, you know what, I need a video, I need a chat, let's just do it all in one go. So the first thing was that things were going pretty well. And then, so basically I have these 3 conferences in a row. Last week I had to do my first conference presentation, and that was like a trial run for the conference. This week we have a seminar as part of my department every Monday, and so I spoke at that and gave like a trial run for my conference presentation, and that went really well. But then I ended up getting something like food poisoning or a stomach bug or something that evening. I don't know if it was because it was my first conference presentation in like 3 years, and then it was also my first time presenting any of my research here at the University of Tübingen, and so I was just really worried, and I felt like my whole body was in complete overdrive the whole day. I like barely ate. I was having complete like stress panics the whole day, and you know when you're like so panicked that you can't even like have a single stream of thought, like nothing is functioning. It was like that for like the whole day, and my conference presentation was only at 6:30 p.m. so I don't know if my body was already in overdrive from that. And then I swear that the chicken that I had for dinner wasn't properly cooked. But anyway, I've basically been in bed for like a week, and I haven't been able to do anything, and it was really stressful because like I said, I've got these 3 weeks of conference presentations, and I haven't written my 3rd one yet. Like, I've started it. I think I documented a bit of writing it in one of my last videos, but I haven't done any work on it since because I've just been feeling so awful, and my brain just wasn't able to hold a stream of thought long enough to be able to write something. So I had like a week where I was supposed to be finishing it, and I haven't, and it's next week, and I just like full panic mode. Today's actually the first day that I felt fine, and I went to the gym this morning and I didn't feel like I was gonna pass out, so that's a good thing. I did test for COVID because I've seen a lot of things online, especially coming out of the UK, of people in my age bracket who get COVID and have like intense gastrointestinal issues. And they have more of like a stomach bug symptom type thing than the traditional flu. And so I thought it might have been that, but I tested and I didn't have COVID, so it must have just been some like food thing. I also have a bunch of like stomach issues anyway in like my prior medical history, so I don't know if that was just like inflaming the stomach bug. Anyway, that was one of the reasons that I was completely off for so long, and I like wasn't on my social media, and I wasn't posting on YouTube, and I wasn't doing any of my uni work, working. So it's been a bit crazy on that front. And then this whole conference this week, we're actually supposed to be in London at the moment. We were supposed to leave last Friday, and we were going to be in London from the 20th to I think the 27th. It was going to be a Friday to Friday. And then on Friday we were going to fly or catch the train to Paris and spend like 3 days in Paris. And then we were going to come back on the Tuesday because I had my next conference presentation on the Wednesday. On the one hand, I'm kind of glad that we didn't go because I ended up getting sick, and I would have been sick in London. But on the other hand, it's so frustrating because this trip has been booked since December last year, since before we even came here to Germany, and it was for this conference. It was going to be my first international conference, my first time networking and talking with people that are in my field, because I mean, New Zealand's great and the University of Auckland was great, but it's such a limited group of people, and the majority of people that I was presenting to don't know anything about my topic and aren't doing anything academic in my topic. And so I was basically really looking forward to this conference because it was going to be a bunch of people who actually know about my topic and are going to be able to give like good feedback on my research and give me good ideas for where I could take it to the next level or challenge it. And I was so excited to do that in person and network with people and just meet other scholars. I think that was one of the main reasons I wanted to come do my PhD over here, was so that I could actually meet other people who are like-minded. And I've been able to do that at the University of Tübingen. Like, so many people that I've met have been so encouraging in my research, and it's been really nice to bounce ideas off people. But I was just really excited to meet people at this conference, and people were coming in from all over the world. So it was going to be really, really cool, and I was really looking forward to it. And like, I'm a British citizen, so it's not even like we were worried or unable to get into England. The main thing that we found out is that we can't actually leave the country at the moment. And I've heard about a lot of people having visa issues with America in particular, but I just totally underestimated the visa issues here in Germany. I'm going to do a full video coming up, like I've been videoing the progression of our visa application, because I've struggled to find any information online of the actual system. A lot of people that I've talked to, that I've met like at church or at university, have gone through the visa system, and so they have been able to help me now. But finding any resources online, it's so difficult. And we've just had practically everything go wrong. We entered here into Germany on a 90-day visa-free period, which you can do from New Zealand. And we were told that you can apply for your visa as soon as you get here to Germany, but as long as you start the application within the 90 days, then it should be fine. The reason we did it this way is because New Zealand was in lockdown when we left, and so we couldn't actually apply for our visa in New Zealand because you have to go to an interview in person, and they weren't holding them in person because we were in lockdown. So not only would we have to have waited until the lockdown ended, but the lockdown ended within cities in New Zealand, and so you wouldn't be in lockdown in Auckland anymore, but Aucklanders couldn't leave Auckland. And so even though that's where we were, if we had have waited, it wouldn't have mattered because we wouldn't have been able to get an interview in Wellington where all of the visa interviews are. So we thought, it's fine, my university has told me that I can apply for it as soon as I get here and it'll be fine. And then we moved to Stuttgart, which is notoriously the worst place to apply for a visa. Basically anyone you speak to that has tried to apply for a visa in Stuttgart versus other cities have talked about how awful the system is here. And of course, I'll go into more detail later, but basically they've lost my documents 4 times, and my visa was only supposed to take like 4 weeks maximum to process because I'm applying for a specific PhD visa, which is a bit of a fast track visa. And I've submitted my documents and they've lost them 4 times, and they're impossible to contact, whether through email or through the phone. I've called over 100 times each day. I bought one of the, I downloaded one of those like redial apps, and so it just keeps redialing it. And it didn't go through for like weeks and weeks. The last time I spoke to somebody on the phone was actually in January. And then emailing, half the time I get an email back saying that their inbox is full and they can't accept any more emails. And so the whole process since January, and I like started applying as soon as we got here, but the whole process since January has just been like an uphill battle. It's been so frustrating. And we booked this trip on the fact that like we arrived in December. We thought, you know, 4 weeks to get a visa, you always give it a leeway because it's always going to be longer because bureaucracy and COVID and everything that's going on. But I did not imagine that it would take 5 months and it's still not resolved. Anyway, long story short, we finally got through to them. And I explained to them, look, like I need a travel exemption if you can't give me a visa. I've spoken to border control and they've said that because it's like a work trip, it's for limited days, I can give you a full itinerary, that you just need to give me a travel exemption because my visa isn't sorted yet. And they were like, yeah, no, that doesn't exist. We don't know anything about an exemption. And so then we went through this whole thing of like, well, border control told us that there is an exemption and you're telling me that there isn't. And they basically just put their foot down and said, nah, there's nothing we can do. And so I was like, well, what do I do now then? And they're like, okay, well, you can have an appointment for this date. And the date was supposed to be around the time that we were getting back from the trip. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I've been asking for an appointment since January. Every single email that I've sent, every single time I've tried to call, every communication that we've sent through, I've asked for an appointment and they've always said, like, no, we're trying to avoid appointments. And then they lose my documents 4 times and give me an appointment for after the trip. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do about this research trip? I've been given a scholarship for it, like it's pre-planned. There are people flying over from all over the world. I can't just move it. And they're like, tough luck, there's nothing we can do. We don't have the time to deal with you now. Oh my gosh. And so we ended up not being able to go on the trip, and so that's why I'm doing this conference virtually. And it's just frustrating. I feel like the one consolation that's come out of this is that at least this visa is going to be for the entirety of my PhD, and it's not like it's, oh, you know, you're applying for a visa and you have to do it again in 6 months. I've also heard that basically anywhere else is better than Stuttgart, because even if the system's really slow in other cities, there's generally an online booking system, or you can at least call. And so we're planning on moving to Tübingen as soon as the visa issue is sorted. We're probably not going to be in Stuttgart for much longer, just because it's taking like an hour and a half to 2 hours to travel whenever I want to go into university. And like all of the people that we're meeting are related to my university, and so it's really hard being here in Stuttgart and not really knowing anybody, and then having everyone in Tübingen. And so if we want to go hang out, or like we've been invited out for dinner tomorrow, for example, and it's in a whole nother city, so it's really hard having this split life. So yeah, hopefully the visa will come through soon and everything will be sorted and we can move to Tübingen. And then if we have to extend for any reason, we're in a city where it's a lot easier to actually contact somebody. Because I think that's the hardest thing of this whole thing, is that I just want to talk to somebody. I just want to like get on the phone with somebody or sit down with somebody and just explain the situation and hash it out. I'm not one of those people who, I don't know, I want to deal with a person. I don't want an automated bot or like a phone system where you speak to like a robot where it gets you to say a certain thing and it will pass you down a different chain and it's impossible to actually speak to somebody. I just want to deal with somebody so that we can sort it out. So anyway, that's kind of just an update of the stresses in our life recently. Is just like my health has been absolutely awful, and then with this visa thing, I think just overall life is just very stressful, and I don't think that's helping my health. I've got a very temperamental body, and so I think with all the stress, everything just hasn't been great. So I think we're gonna get our visa at some point and we're just gonna go on a trip, and we're probably just gonna take a few days off work, or maybe we'll do a, what's it called, a work vacation. Not a staycation, a working holiday. Probably gonna do a working holiday, get some like €8 ticket to Dublin or something, and just celebrate having a visa and take some time off. But for the meantime, we just gotta keep chugging away. We get our visa eventually. We'll like sort all this out. And then I can do an update video so that anyone else who's thinking of moving to Stuttgart and applying for a visa here can be forewarned so they don't have to go through the same thing as us. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video, even though it was basically just a rant. One day I'll look back on this video and realize how stupid the system was and be thankful that I'm now out of it. So anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope that, I don't know, hopefully you've had a better day than I have. And I hope that you have a really good day or weekend or whatever it is that you're up to. Thank you for your support and thank you for sticking along with this. For any of the Germans who are watching my videos, I really appreciate all of the comments that you're leaving. It's really helping us to acclimatize to life here, and there's a lot of things that we just don't know. And so in our ignorance, I'll say something in a video just like, oh, I wonder what that is, or I can't translate that. And you guys have been really helpful, so thank you for that. And yeah, I hope that you have a nice day or night wherever in the world you are. And I'll see you with another video soon. Bye.